At last, the twisted heart of the world is laid bare, for sword or supplication.
All right, welcome back to the final episode of Darkest Dungeon. Episode 46, week 117 getting underway. Here we go, Devatron. And thankfully there is no town event, but let's scroll through these caretaker goals one last time. Look at this. Only one box unchecked. Everything else is done, Devatron. We have done it all. This has been a long, long road. One last quest. One last dungeon.
Word is traveling. Ambition is stirring in distant cities. We can use this.
So here we have some essentially superfluous last-minute stagecoach upgrades, considering we won't be adventuring anymore after this, and hence won't be recruiting heroes anymore after this. It is indeed completely specious, but we're perfectionists and completionists, so we're going to do it. More important, our party composition here: Crusader, Highwayman, Bounty Hunter, Vestal. It has a name. The Hunting Party, Devatron. Look out. So as for the Bounty Hunter, I can't recall at this point whether or not there's been an episode where we've used one or not. I don't think so. I think this may be the first time you're seeing the Bounty Hunter in action. Better late than never, right? You may have seen him when we were chasing down those Shieldbreaker journal entries. I can't remember. But at any rate, the Bounty Hunter is a very good class. Like other good classes, for example, the Grave Robber, they often just don't fit into my composition for one reason or another. It doesn't mean that they're a bad class. And also, like the Grave Robber, I've been leveling up this Bounty Hunter the whole time, so obviously we've been out questing with him and whatnot. He just hasn't made it onto camera for an official episode in this video series. At any rate, the reason we're using a Bounty Hunter now for this quest is that this dungeon has human enemy types in it, and Bounty Hunters are very good versus humans. They get bonus damage and whatnot against human enemy types. Other than that, really, there's not much to say about this dungeon, about this quest. It unfolds naturally and explains itself, and obviously I don't want to ruin any surprises or give anything away, so there's not much commentary to add at this point. You may notice that the specific Crusader and Highwayman that I've included are in fact Reynold and Dismas, the very two heroes with whom we started the entire game. So that's all I'll add at this point with regard to the quest. As for the game, as for this video series, I mean, wow, a long, long road. I think this is, episode count-wise, my biggest video yet. So I appreciate you watching it, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I think it's a great game. I love the artwork, I love the backstory, and even though I don't usually play turn-based strategy, I gotta say this was really a fun game, and I would consider it a great game. Alright, I'm gonna have to sign it off here. There'll be a little color commentary along the way, but otherwise this is it. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed the Darkest Dungeon.
In all my terrible researches, what I sought was a glimpse behind the veil, a crumb of cosmic truth, I found it here. And in that moment of brain-blasting realization, I ceased to be a man and became a herald, an avatar of the crawling chaos. Life feeds on life. In your petty pursuit of family redemption, you consume those who rally to your cause, and in so doing, you strengthen the thing, accelerating the end. This is as it should be. It is why you are here. We are chained here forever, you and I, at the end of the world. Free yourself, rouse the thing, and embrace the ineffable cosmic hideousness that lives within us all. You still foolishly consider yourself an entity separate from the whole. I know better. And I will show you.
Alright, so what's going on here is the real ancestor is back in rank 4, and he only has 5 hit points, but you can't do any damage to him by attacking him directly. So what you have to do is cut through these reflections of him, and as they die, he summons more. And then eventually, like there, he summons an imperfect reflection. And by killing an imperfect reflection, you do 1 point of damage to the real ancestor. And there you see the ancestor took a point of damage. So you have to just keep at this fight and eventually kill 5 of those imperfect reflections to destroy the ancestor and move on.
is fluid. It can be changed, reshaped, remade.
Okay, now we have to cut down the ancestor again. He can be damaged like normal this time. But he's going to shift around here and there between different ranks. And those other things around him are just called absolute nothingness. They don't do anything. They don't attack you, they don't damage you, but you can't do any damage to them or to the ancestor by attacking them.
flesh is immortal. It is undying. Pray it does not take too hideous a form.
Alright, now the ancestor is transformed into this gestating heart. And this doesn't do a lot of damage to you or anything like that, but it has a ton of hit points. And the more of the hit points you can get through now, the less hit points the Ancestor will have in the next phase of the fight. So you really want to try to cut this thing down as quickly as possible right now, while nothing is really hurting you in the meantime.
Behold the heart of the world, progenitor of life, father and mother, Alpha and Omega, our creator and our destroyer.
The Heart of Darkness, Devatron. This is it. Here we go. Alright, obviously I'm stalling here, and I can't tell you why without spoiling a big part of this fight. So you'll understand in a second why I'm stalling. So just sit tight. Alright, here it is, Devatron. Come unto your maker. You have to choose one party member, and the Heart of Darkness will kill them. So that's why I was stalling. I wanted to get as much healing out of the Vestal before she was gone forever. And again, Devatron. Alright, so we've come full circle, Devatron. We started with Renauld and Dismas on the old road, and here they are in the end, side by side, taking on the Heart of Darkness. Bring it home, boys.
Victory. A hollow and ridiculous notion. We are born of this thing, made from it, and we will be returned to it in time. The great family of man. A profusion of errant flesh, multiplying, swarming, living, dying, until the stars align in their inexorable formation, and what sleeps is roused once more. To hatch from this fragile shell of earth and rock and bring our inescapable end. So seek solace in a manner befitting your lineage, and take up your nugatory vigil, haunted forever by that sickening prose echoing through the infinite blackness of space and time. Ruin has come to our family.